Hey, what's up, people? How's everybody doing? Hopefully, you all are doing good. Um, this will be actually my first video that I'm uploading. It's a video about synchronicity, a lot of angel numbers, and you see, I see a lot of angel numbers and everything. And one of the angel numbers that I see a lot is 911. The angel number 911, and that's usually you see, to me, I always thought that angel number 911 was always a bad thing, because I would see it. And when I would see it, I would see a lot of bad things happening around me. I started seeing it about 3 years, 4 years ago when I started noticing it more. I got real bad on drugs and alcohol, and I started seeing that number. So every time I would call my dope dealer or stuff like that, I would end up getting that number, 911, 911. Every time that I would see that number, uh, at first I wouldn't really pay attention to it. I mean, I would pay attention to it, but I didn't really think much of it. And the thing is that it started getting to the point where 911 started affecting me a lot. The way it started affecting me was because uh, I started manifesting a lot of bad things to it, with it. A lot of bad things were happening to me because I was manifesting in that number. Every time I would see that number, when I would see 911, I would end up, it got so bad that I would end up getting anxiety. I got real bad anxiety. I started getting panic attacks and everything. And that's because I let it get to that place. I started feeling panic attacks because I got it to that place. Because that's the way I manifested to do, things like that. And so when I would see it, I would get panic attacks, and sometimes my panic attacks will be so bad that I would end up getting so panicked that I would end up going to the hospital because of it. And it got to the point sometimes that I would end up putting my alarm at 9:10, so I wouldn't have to see it. I wouldn't have to see 911, and I would put it to, like, I would put it at 9:12, so I wouldn't have to see it. So I would see the phone at 9:10, but then I'll put it down, so I would wait for the alarm to go on, so I could know that it was safe for me to end up getting my phone back again. And it got real bad, it got real bad. And to me, I thought it was like a heads up, like, hey, you know what, something's gonna happen, some bad thing is gonna happen, and you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out and know what you're doing and everything. So manifestation for it, I would manifest a lot of bad things about it. I remember, I would see it when I would be on drugs and alcohol constantly, constantly, constantly. At one point I was on probation, and I was on the run, and it was just real chaotic. When I was on the run, I would see it a lot too, 911, 911. And I remember that every time, if I would say something, it would happen. A lot of the 9 times out of 10, it would happen. So one of the times I ended up going to go report to my probation, and I ended up seeing 911, and I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna get a drug test right now. I'm gonna come out dirty, and I'm gonna come out dirty, and it's the end of it. And sure enough, when I went in, I ended up having a drug test, and I came out dirty. And it was already about going on 2 weeks without having done drugs or drinking or anything, but I came out dirty. So what I'm trying to get at is that I was manifesting a lot of bad things. One of the things that happened one time was that when I ended up seeing it, I was actually, it was let's say it was at 10 at night and I saw it. And then the next day I was going to go out and look for work and everything. And I ended up saying to myself, you know um, what if I go and look for work and I'm going to end up getting busted? And who's going to pick up my stuff, my keys, my monies? I just had finished working at a job and they still owed me my check. So I was going to go into my debit card. So I'm like, so who's going to pick up my debit card? How am I going to have money inside for commissary, and stuff like that. So what happened was that I ended up going to go look for work and everything. And then these cops ended up, after getting out of the interview, I started walking and these cops stopped me. It was two females. And they told me, you know what, we're looking for such person and everything. And I said, well, it's not me. They're like, oh yeah, well, he was walking with some woman and arguing down the street. And I'm all like, what's going on? So I don't have a woman, so I'm pretty sure it's not me. So then they're all like, hey, you know what, can we see your ID? And at that time I didn't have an ID. I had a paper ID because supposedly you can't get an ID if you have a warrant. So I'm all like, no, because I don't have an ID. So then after that, they're all like, well, what's your social? And I gave them my social. So I remember I gave them everything right. I told them everything right. I gave them everything right. So then they told me, oh, okay then, thank you very much, and okay, you're free to go. And I said, all right. So then I left. So then when I left, I was walking. So then when I was walking down the street to go get the bus, I was kind of skeptical about it. I was like, what the hell? And sure enough, they stopped over there and they're like, hey, so and so, your name? You're under arrest. Put your hands behind your back. And they arrested me. So like I said, that number is real powerful. But that number, if you manifest a lot of things, either if it's good or bad, they're gonna happen. And it happened to me because I was manifesting a lot of bad things. When I was in prison, I remember one of the times when I was in prison, I would manifest a lot of bad things too. I would see 911, 911, 911. And when I was in there, I remember I used to tell my friends, my homies, the ones I used to hang around with, be telling them, hey, you know what? I saw 911. And they're like, well, what's going to happen? I was like, watch, something's going to happen, bro. Either to me or something around me was going to happen. And sure enough, the guards would come in, shake down, and they would take away tattoo guns and everything. It was chaotic, real bad. Or one time when I saw it was when all of a sudden there's a fight that broke loose and everything. It was real bad. So I'm all like, what the hell's happening? So it's like they say, your mind is so powerful. Your mind is real powerful. And it was real bad, But now, when I see it, I don't manifest nothing bad because I know it's a good number. All it is it means endings and new beginnings. That's what 911 means. Endings, new beginnings. One door of your life is closing, which is your endings, and another one is opening, which is beginnings, new beginnings in life. And well, that's all I gotta say. This is, like I said, this is my first video, so hopefully I'll upload more. I don't know what gave me the courage to say this, so, or to talk about this, but hopefully a lot of people can reflect to it, and hopefully you can get help out of it, and if anything, just go ahead and hit me up and see where it goes, just subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I'll be putting more content and everything so you guys could know more about it, Later.